Hi my lovelies, in today's video we're going to discuss how to keep your mind clear by avoiding or getting rid of conflicting or intrusive thoughts. If you like today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share. One thing that I would like to say today, apart from what we were just talking about, is I want to take the time to thank all of the people that are still going out into the world with what is happening to us these days. I was able to go shopping, go grocery shopping yesterday because there are people like you who are able to go out, who are still going out into the world and providing a place for me to go and get my food so that I can eat while I'm here on the lockdown. So I want to thank you for making yourselves available so that me and my family, my friends, and all of my lovelies, everybody in the world is still able to have a somewhat semi-normal life, even though things are not gonna probably ever be the way they were before. And also I also want to give a shout out to the first responders, all the policemen, all of the policemen and women, the police people, all of the nurses and the doctors and the healthcare workers who are out there taking care of the people that are ill at this time and putting themselves basically in front of what's going on to keep us safe and to try and keep the people that are ill, try to bring them back to safety. And I'd like to thank you as well. Like I said, if it was not for what you do, things would be way worse off than what they are. And I just want to show my gratitude. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you do. Hi, my name is Leigh, and welcome to Personal Development with Leigh. So as I stated earlier, what we're going to talk about today is how to keep your mind clear by avoiding or getting rid of conflicting or intrusive thoughts. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be called a series of videos I'm going to call Quick Tips. And Quick Tips will address specific issues with LOA, and it's going to do it in a shortened format so that you can get the information you need in a short amount of time. So with that said, back to the video. So what is an intrusive thought? An intrusive thought is basically, as I said before, a conflicting thought, mostly negative, something which comes into your mind when you're trying to continue to think positively about something that you're trying to manifest. So for example, let me give you an example. Let's say you're trying to manifest some money, and every time you try to think about the money in a positive manner, something comes into your head, like a voice will come into your mind and say, oh, you're broke, you'll never be able to manifest that amount of money. So this is an example of an intrusive thought or a conflicting thought, because it's something, like I said, mostly negative that will come into your mind at a time when you don't want it to, and it's basically undermining whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So the question is, how do you keep that from happening? So I have 4 different tips I'm going to discuss with you today on how to do that. Okay, so tip number 1 is you want to interrupt the thought. So there are 2 different ways you can do this. Okay, there are 2 different phrases that I like to use to say. So if something comes into my mind, as soon as it starts, I'll say delete that or not useful. So for instance, okay, say I'm trying to manifest the money. Okay, thought starts to come in my mind. Delete that, not useful. So you can either say them both together, or you can say it one after, one at one time or one at another time. The point of you saying those phrases in your mind is because you're trying to stop the thought dead in its tracks before it picks up any traction and starts to, move you away from what it is that you want to manifest. Okay? So for the second tip, I'm just taking a look at my notes. For the second tip, you want to distract yourself. So, for instance, there are two ways you can do this. You can either clap or you can snap your fingers. So, let me give you an example. Okay, thoughts coming into my head. You're just to clap and stop it. Stop the thought right there. Or you're, snap it. You have to do something basically to bring yourself out of that thought, because you're running with that train of thought. And as you know, if you are aware of Abraham and the law of attraction and asking it's given, that book, they talk about how the more you think about something, it starts to pick up momentum. So what you want to do is stop that momentum before it starts to happen. So like I said, by clapping and snapping, that will do something that takes you out of the thought. It will usually stop you in the middle of the thought. Kind of like if you're talking or thinking about something and someone says something to you and it interrupts you, it's pretty much the same thing. So for the third tip, you want to try some form of imagery. So for instance, a stop sign. Whenever the thought starts to come into your mind, like you're in your mind, you want to see a picture in your mind of a stop sign. And that you can use that as like a gentle way to stop the thought from forming. Okay, so say you have something stubborn in your mind and none of the previous three tips are working. I have a fourth one for you that's a little stronger. It's called the Swish Method, and I got this from a Tony Robbins book that I'd read recently. And so the way that it works is that when you start to see the visual in your mind of what it is that you don't want to see, like for instance a picture of what you think you'd look like as a broke person, say you start to see that, instead of, when you start to see that, what you're going to do is think of something the opposite of that. So what it would look like if you were rich, or you had the money that you wanted to have. Form an image of that in your mind, and whenever you start to think about the image of what you don't want, when it starts to come in, you're going to say the word whoosh. You're going to make that sound whoosh, and you're gonna do it with as much force as you possibly can to make it like exciting. Whoosh, whoosh, like that. So when the picture of what you don't want comes up, you're gonna, when you say whoosh, it's like you're gonna, like this picture of what you don't want is gonna be made of, let's say it's gonna be made of thin paper. So when this picture is up and you say whoosh, you're gonna imagine the picture of what you do want busting through the picture of what you don't want. So it's like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. So you're going to say that over and over and over again in your mind as a mental exercise in order to get it to the point to where you won't ever even think about this anymore. Or if you start to think about the image of what you don't want, you just say whoosh, and then this picture will pop up. If you do it over and over again, repeat it, it will get to the point to where you won't even think about this picture anymore. So, thank you for listening, my lovelies. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell. And if you'd like for me to do more videos on topics like these, please don't forget to put a comment down in the comment box. Thank you. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and namaste.